Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys Secret Base figure preview video. Before we get started, I want to say a massive thank you to Ryan Kirkwood for going out in person to Secret Base to snap these glorious high-res pictures. Seriously, show Ryan some love in the comments below. Without him, this series literally would not be possible. Now, if you're looking to pre-order your very own copy of Mustafar Obi-Wan, I've popped a link to Pop Collectibles in the description, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you decide to buy from them. When you're pre-ordering Hot Toys from Pop, you can either pay the full amount right up front, or leave a deposit and fix up the balance when the piece releases. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. You're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as brand new Star Wars content goes live. Because Hot Toys, they cannot keep well enough alone from Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin. We got, 4 different versions of Episode 3 Anakin in a very short span of time. Now we've got a new and improved Obi-Wan. Granted, the most recent Obis were from Clone Wars and Clone Wars again with the Mandalorian Disguise one, but still, a lot of Obi-Wan Kenobis, a lot of Anakins. Is this, though, the best Episode 3 Obi-Wan Kenobi to date? Well, there's only been one before this, so by default, yeah, I think it's the winner. But they've done something a little bit unique here, and we'll get stuck into it. They've omitted a very key accessory, but then they've added a diorama display base. If you'd have asked me prior to this being announced if they would have gone DX for Episode 3 Obi-Wan and maybe even Artisan, I would have said, yeah, probably. I don't know about the Artisan because of the shorter hairstyle. Either way, they've split the difference. This is neither a DX nor an Artisan. It's something in between. Accessories. LED light-up lightsaber, still base lit, still underwhelming, but a full array of hands, all brand new sculpts. Happy to see that, because these are the new generation of Hot Toys hands. Skinnier fingers, more natural looking gestures, more skin texture, more wrinkling, more vein work. They just look a lot more realistic versus what they were giving us. Not to say that the old Obi-Wan hands were bad by any means, but these are just superior. The display base. This diorama base is beautiful. Now, this bottom portion, don't let the translucent orange plastic fool you. It's actually reuse. This base is the one that we got with Endgame Iron Man Mark 85, the battle damage one, and we received it with battle damage Darth Vader from the Kenobi series, as well as Obi-Wan himself. They've put some new holes in it to accommodate the clear rods for the platform, but very clever and sneaky reuse. It doesn't light up, though. Unfortunately, that would have been icing on the cake, having that glowing lava underneath the platform, but if you light it correctly, as they've done at Secret Base, it sort of looks like it's glowing anyway. The top platform, this is a sizable display base. Big investment on their part, giving us the floating platform, and it's painted beautifully. Plus, it doesn't really connect to the Pandroid base that we got with the original Darkseid Anakin and we're getting with the new one, but they're more like proximity companion bases. So you can have Anakin posed up next to Obi-Wan with their bases almost interlocking. They don't properly connect though, like I said. Or Obi-Wan and Anakin can just about fit on this base. It's big, but it's not big enough to accommodate them comfortably. It's a slightly shrunk down version of what we saw on screen. They've made it manageable without going too inaccurate. I love the way this looks. I like the concept behind it, the paint applications like I said, and there's still a crotch grabber arm port so you can plug that in the back of the stand and secure Obi-Wan to the base. And I wouldn't be surprised if those little molten, dried up bits of lava are removable so you can pop the crotch grabber in there too. I can't 100% guarantee that, but that's what it looks like to me. There's this rough looking texture on all of the metal pieces that helps sell that this is an old, aged, worn platform. Let's talk about Obi-Wan. Now, he's pretty much the Episode 3 figure with the Clone Wars head sculpt, slightly modified hair, and a lot of battle damage. Weathering, dirt and grime, you can see that on the boots. They're still pleather. We're getting sculpted plastic boots with Bespin Han, who was announced pretty soon after this, so I don't know why we didn't get sculpted boots with Obi-Wan, considering that strap right above the shoe portion of the boot would have been the perfect place to hide a split cut. These boots were begging to be made out of sculpted plastic, but they're still pleather, unfortunately. The weathering extends onto the pants, which is a nice touch because you don't see much of them. They could have left them clean. They didn't. More weathering on the tabards and the underrobes. Speaking of robes, we don't get his outer robe, unfortunately. They did the same thing with sculpted hair Anakin, and it's very frustrating because, I mean, he wore the robe on Mustafar when he came down the ramp off of Padme's ship. Yes, his outfit wasn't battle damaged yet, but come on. Why do we not have the robe with Obi-Wan? It just opens the door for third-party companies like Topo Studio to give us a robe, and they've already announced theirs. It could be that they're trying to save some kind of value with the original one by giving that an exclusive accessory being the robe, but it's a very odd choice, a head scratcher. They really should have chucked it in my opinion. The belt. The belt is also pleather for the base of it and the strap, but a lot of sculpted plastic pouches, the canisters, the buckle and whatnot, plus the CoverTech clip, it'll work in the exact same way as the older version of Obi-Wan and pretty much all of the Jedi figures. So the tabards are still wired and heavily weathered. There's some weathering on the pants, a little bit on the underrobes, but the tabards have copped it the most. There's even a hole on that right one. They could have done switch out tabards because these are very easy to remove. If this Obi-Wan was a DX, that is what I would have expected. His outfit always had a little bit of grime along the edges, some airbrush shading, so I don't think the weathering elsewhere on the outfit would have thrown the look off if you'd have popped on clean tabards. So maybe in the future, we're gonna get a DX Obi-Wan with the same array of accessories, diorama display base, weathered tabards, clean tabards, and a robe. That could be what their plan is, but I don't know for sure. We'll just have to wait and see. But that hand right there, you can see the cuticles and the wrinkling on the inside of the palm. They really have locked in when it comes to the detail on their hands. And going forward, Hot Toys, please keep up this level of detail. Don't go back to your older style hands. The swooshing blade effect, the straight blade effect, they're more saturated than usual, but the swooshing effect still isn't correct. You all know my thoughts on it. This head sculpt, I'm a huge fan of the Clone Wars sculpt. I've already popped it on my episode 3 Obi-Wan, so I sort of kit bashed this before it was a thing. But his neck looks too short here because of the way they futzed the outfit, and the upper lip still doesn't look right. The moustache bulges out in a very unnatural way. They need to thin it out, flatten it a bit, and reveal a touch more of the upper lip. Then I think this head sculpt will come to life, because for right now, that shadow being cast on the upper lip, it makes it disappear, so he looks like he doesn't have one. Not to mention the fact that the secret base staff posed his eyes, so they're slightly too wide set. We've got moving eyes. It's not going to be a problem. You can see it in that picture right there. You can adjust them, but on display here, yeah, he's a touch goofy. The fringe. So the rest of the sculpt is the Clone Wars one, but they've added some rooted hair to the fringe. The color match is super close on the prototype. Will it be as close with the final production one? I certainly hope so, because to pull this off, it needs to be flawless. It needs to be invisible, unnoticeable, that there's two different styles of hair pressed up right next to each other. You could style the fringe differently if you wanted, because that rooted hair adds a lot more versatility to a head sculpt without having to go fully rooted, and with a hairstyle this short, I don't think that's even necessary. It would have been quite difficult to manage and almost sculpted anyway, because they would have had to add so much product to keep the style, the hairstyle, as accurate as possible. So at the end of this, Yes, I think it's their best attempt at Episode 3 Obi-Wan, but it's still not perfect. We need that robe, and they need to thin out the moustache. I don't think they're going to fix the moustache, nor add the robe, but either way, yes, I will be getting this. I've pre-ordered mine from Pop Collectibles. I've popped a link to their site in the description, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you decide to buy from them. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. If you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.